Hey, what's up, Pastor Supergroup? Clint Dickerson here. Y'all know who I am. Hey, I'm making this video because I figured this would be the easiest way to do this instead of trying to individually go and text each and every one of you guys. And then we all know when you text, sometimes things get lost in translation. So I'm sending you this because I want to work as a team to make something super cool. So about 10 years ago, believe it or not, the Lord gave me a vision for a book called, believe it or not, it's called the Abortion Coffee Table Book. The reason why it's called the Abortion Coffee Table Book is because people that are for abortion can talk about it all the time. But it seems like these days is that people that are for or against abortion are quieter, and we have to be quiet about it not to offend people or whatever. So anyway, the other reason why it's called the Abortion Coffee Table Book is because, well, let's face it, it draws attention real fast. Like, there's no beating around the bush there. It's straight to the point. So whether you're for abortion or against abortion, as soon as you see that, you're kind of drawn to it. So it's going to be about this big. This is gels. It's not a book. It's gels for a DJ light, but a bigger book. You know, like the hardcover, bigger books. I want this baby to stand out. I want it to pop. I literally want it to be on every coffee table, in every doctor's office, in every place under the sun, houses, churches. I want this thing to be everywhere. But anyway, what it's going to be is it's going to be a bunch of small stories, so like a page or two of each story. Very easy readable, no big words, nothing like that. But what it's going to do is that each story is going to start with a picture, or maybe even two pictures. I keep going back and forth of like maybe a baby picture of them and then like a picture of them as an adult or whatever. I want the kid pictures in there because kids tug at people's heartstrings or whatever. But this is going to be a fictional book. It's not going to be like a facts book. There's a ton of those out there about how abortions work and this and that. This one is going to be a book about what could happen. So, for example, there could be a story about Joe, and Joe, Joe grows up to be a senator or whatever, and in the Senate he gets a bill passed to fight cancer. I'm just making this up at the top of my head. To some kind of cancer treatment or something for, which helps people, right? Well, then the story backtracks to Joe being aborted because mom was scared or dad, dad talked her into it or whatever. And I want each story to be different. I want the scenario to be different, obviously, but so you can see what would happen in the world with Joe, and you can see what would happen in the world without Joe. And I want, like I said, I want there to be a baby, not a baby picture, but like a little kid picture, like maybe 2-3 years old when kids are super cute, and then a picture as them as an adult or whatever. If they make it to an as adult, some of them, the kids might have died when they're 10 or whatever, but they still could have made an impact in the world. And I've got one story that's going to go in it. Long story short, a kid gets killed on his way to baseball practice by a drunk driver. The drunk driver goes to prison. During prison, he gets reformed, he gets saved. And then he goes and gets out of prison or stays in prison, whatever, but he becomes a preacher and leads tons of people to the Lord or whatever and all this stuff. Well, go backwards, the baby was aborted, so when he gets into the accident, he doesn't kill anybody, so he just goes on living his life as a drunk, and nothing changes. So see how that 10-year-old boy, even though he was died at 10, was still changing people's lives through that, and they had no right to kill him as a baby. So I want to show that off. But anyway, I want to have like maybe 10 to 12 stories in here. And then at the very end, I want to have a picture of Jesus and show the effects of what if, the story of Jesus, and then take it away as he was aborted and see the difference between what happens to humanity versus with and without him. And hopefully that would open people's eyes. Now, I got to be quick because my video is saying I've only got 2 minutes left. But first of all, those of you guys, most of you guys know I used to be in a touring music ministry called 4G. We have disbanded, not because we hate each other, we're all brothers, but just life is crazy. So we're turning 4G from 4G Music Ministries into 4G Creative Ministries, where we take other branches of entertainment, so books, movies, whatever, music, and we're working with artists. So we're kind of like an agent type of thing, helping people get started. So this will be the first thing under the 4G Entertainment Ministries. And we want people to fund this thing. We're looking for funding first. We're also looking for writers. I don't want to write this. I want each story to be from a different writer so that you get a different feel for each story. It's written differently, all that stuff. So I would encourage all of you to ask your churches if they would want to do a story like this. And then we also need volunteers to let us use their pictures, because we're going to need it. We're going to need a bunch of kids' pictures and then adult pictures. So we need people's permission to use all these pictures, so that we can make this as real as possible. And with it being fictional, I still want it to nail people when they see it. So prayer, first of all. Second of all, would your church want to support this? We could take this to Planned Parenthood. We could pass them out. They could be on everybody's coffee table. They could be, you go to a doctor's office, boom, they're at the pregnancy center. I've already looked into some publishing companies. There's a couple Christian publishing companies that will publish it for free. Obviously, we'd have to pay for duplication stuff, but relatively cheap. I can give you the numbers if you want to hit me up. But pray about it. Would your church be wanting to do something like this? And then lastly, like we said, we need pictures. We need writers. I want 12 to 15 stories. I've written one. I'd like to have, like I said, each story to be different by a different writer so it gets a different feel. Anyway, I'm running out of time on my timer. So pray about it, think about it, get back with me, y'all. Y'all know now how to get a hold of me. So I don't need to get into all that spiel. But also, I want to say thank you for everybody praying for my grandson, Abel. He is rocking. He's awesome, moving his arms and his legs. He's a miracle. Doctors said he would be brain dead and paralyzed, but doctors don't know what God does. So anyway, I want to say thank you, and really think about this, because the Lord told me, he gave me this idea like 10 years ago, but 2 weeks ago, he nailed me with it. He said, Clint, it's time. You've been putting it off for a long time, but look, we're out there. We're in a world where we need to get it out now, so it's time. So if you're interested, let me know, and we will talk later. God bless you all. I appreciate y'all, Pastor Supergroup, and we'll talk to you later.